What's up, guys? We're back with episode 2 of the Fight Cult podcast. Our co-hosts here, Nick Mayer and myself, and our 2 guests. We got Mondo Best and Dylan Potter. Mondo, if you want to introduce yourself to the audience real quick.
My name is Armondo Best, aka Primo. I've been with the team for about like a good few years, and I'm just here to have fun with my boys.
Right on. And Dylan?
Yeah, I'm Dylan Potter, just a local combat sports athlete, kind of live my dream, trying to relearn the sport and start over and get back into it.
Amen, brother. Well, so without further ado, we're just gonna get right into it. I want to talk to you a little bit first, Dylan, about your career. You're one of the most experienced guys in the room, and I know a lot of us look up to you because of, you've been to some places that not a lot of people who get into the sport end up getting to. So if you could just tell us a little bit about how you first got into martial arts, and some of your experiences along the way in your career and everything.
Yeah, so growing up, I played all sports, basketball, football, baseball. Got injured every one of them, ended my career young. But when I was about 13 years old, 14, uncle at the time was having some personal issues, moved in with us, rented out our spare room. His thing was kickboxing, so he'd be going to kickboxing over at Academy Brian Johnson's, and I get home from school right when he was leaving, asked him one day, hey, can I come with you? He said, yeah. I went in there, immediately clicked. I grew up getting into a lot of fights in and out of school, so
yeah,
just kind of natural at it. And couple years into it, just boxing and kickboxing, I found Dennis Hallman, and my buddy Cody brought me with him. Was there for 1 week in the room with guys like Glenn Bentley, Prince Albert, Dennis himself, Sterling Ford. I mean, we had a good group of very experienced fighters who we would get together and just fight. I mean, we would do some technique here and there, but at the end of the day, we were just going in, big gloves or little gloves, we'd take a vote and we would fight.
Right.
So, where my technique lacks, I could throw hands, I could scrap.
Right.
So a week into it, Dennis approached me, hey, you want to fight? I said, yeah, let's do it. So at the young age of 15 years old, I'm in Renton, Jack's Bar and Grill, giant cage shoved in this little bar, fighting someone, I believe he was about 28 years old. We fought that.
And you said you're how old? You're like 15?
I was about 15 years old.
Hell yeah.
I didn't
Common trial by fire.
Exactly. I was
Nice.
literally thrown to the wolves. It was, and then it was, because I didn't even have my license at the time. I remember my uncle let me drive up there because I had my learning permit. So I got up there, fought that fight, fell in love with it. Every few weekends, it was different bar and grill.
How did that fight go? Do you remember?
Gyms. Yeah, so it was against, I know you remember Ahmad.
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, big, tall guy, about 2 weight classes up from me at the time. We ended up kickboxing that time. It was a brawl. It was back and forth. We were throwing hands, and then he ended up taking the win. And then every few weekends, then I got into MMA, got my ass beat by Fernando Heredia. He was badass. He was good at the time. Still good, but
he actually rocked with us at Synergy for a little bit.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard that name is so long.
Yeah, I went in there thinking that I was just gonna beat him up with my hands, and that's when I figured out, I can wrestle. Got my ass beat, the worst, I think still to this day I've ever got my ass beat. Then from there, working with Dennis for a while, got my ground game on, and then I started going on a tear. It was, win 4 or 5 amateur fights, drop 1, win 4 or 5, a little more, because we were fighting. Nick knows we were fighting every other weekend. If you're showing up to an event with your boys, you better bring a gym bag, you better bring a cup and a mouthpiece, because you're probably fighting.
Yeah.
And most of the time I did. We'd show up, Dennis would approach me, hey, our main event didn't show up. You want to fight this guy? I'm all of 155 pounds, 170 pounds. Oh, big heavyweight 230 pounder standing over there. Yeah, sure, let's do it. And more times than not, I came out on top. So by the time I was 18, I had an abundance of fight. More fights than pros have to this day.
Yeah.
So when I fought on these sanctioned shows, it was, I went, took a few belts, and
Second nature at that point.
yeah, I was the most experienced 18-year-old out there. So 19, I think I was 19, maybe freshly 20, and I made my pro debut. And yeah, it's been fun, man.
Right. And at Dennis Hallman's, for you guys at home that don't know this, that's where Nick and Dylan met way back when Nick was first getting into it as well.
Yes.
If you want to talk on that a bit.
Yeah, I got I initially started out in Arizona, ironically the same town as Gaethje, and then when my job ended at I was working on a copper mine, and when that job was coming to an end, I had to decide where I wanted to go. If I wanted to follow the engineering company I was currently working for to another job site, or if I wanted to go back home. I was a bit homesick. I had one of my aunts that was having some health issues, and at that time, so I just made the choice to come back home. But prior to coming back home, I did my research and looked into as many gyms here as I possibly could, and found, Victory Athletics. And when you look at the roster of not just the coaching staff, which is, Dennis Hallman, Benji Raddick, rest in peace, Corey Davella, is an onslaught of UFC and Strikeforce vets, and then, that was a no-brainer for me. And I see all these guys that are super active, and I'm like looking on the internet to find as much information as, for who's competing under them, just to kind of see what they can kind of produce. Ironically, found some videos of Dylan back then, and I came in to the gym, and I think I paid for like 6 or 8 months in advance, and bought all my gear on the spot, and ended up clicking with Dylan like right away. Dylan's been pretty inspirational since the day I came into that gym, and then also, like, if it wasn't for him, I probably would have never really ventured directly into MMA, because he kind of gave me that last little nudge to do MMA. Prior to that, I was kind of primarily more comfortable, more competent, and obviously more passionate about striking. Hence why I still do what I do. But watching Dylan do his thing for so long, dude, it's just been an inspiration, for sure, without a doubt. And then just seeing how far he's come, and also still maintaining such, humility to be able to come into the fold and still be coachable.
Right.
That's something that a lot of these guys lack. They spend X amount of years doing this thing, but they're so stubborn and pig-headed that they can't be coached. And because of the fact that they can't be coached and they lack the humility for coachability, then they hit the ceiling a lot sooner than they could, right? So they could go a whole lot further. They're coachable. So I'm fucking hyped to have Dylan back in the room, man.
Same, dude.
He was one of the guys that when I first came into the gym, like he was saying, it was a doghouse. It was nothing but, all right, cool, lace up, we're sparring. And the sparring was fights, and it's like every weekend, dude, we're at different locations. Definitely an old school approach. And then, Dylan was one of the only guys back then that would actually take the time to help me, and now seeing it come full circle where he's finally in the room with us over at Synergy, and me being able to help him, because when Victory closed down, we kind of all kind of dispersed in different directions. He lived further down south. I lived further up north. So, I ended up at South Sound and Synergy. He ended up back down at I believe Brian Johnson's and ATT down in Portland. And then now we're full swing back in the mix together,
And the room is benefiting.
big time.
Yeah.
We're full of killers.
Yeah, I feel super blessed and honored to be able to be one of your pretty close training partners in there, dude. It's pretty tight to know, like, man, I'm drilling and I'm sparring with this guy who's he's LFA alumni, Contender Series alumni, and like we always talk about, that energy is just infectious. You know what I mean? When you're around skilled guys that are doing it for real, it boosts everybody in the room. But with that being said, tell us a little bit about once you got into your pro career, man. Like I said, you're LFA alumni, Contender Series alumni. This is what we all dream about. That's the big stage. What is that like? And what's it like being able to reach those levels and then still come into a room and just be a student? Obviously helping out in a coaching role, when it's asked of you, but still just putting your head down and working day in and day out.
It's been a dream, man. I've been able to go places that I don't think I ever would have been able to go before. New York City, Vegas multiple times, down to Florida, all over the country. And they weren't always under the best circumstances. I didn't always have a full training camp. You know, I have a full episode for each one of my fights of a story behind it. Not an excuse, but a story that goes behind it. You know, 4 days notice in Detroit, less than a week's notice at Madison Square Garden in New York on PFL. I mean, they all have their stories. But, you know, when I started out, when Victory split was actually right after I had taken my pro debut. So we accepted the fight. A guy I had real beef with. And one day we showed up, doors were closed, a sign on there, no coaches, no one was there.
Fuck.
And yeah, exactly. And so, and so I was actually, me and the company I was with, we just brought on Eric Cronkite. He's another local fighter. And he trained out of Eatonville at Eatonville Martial Arts with Brad Pohl. And I didn't know what to do. So he said, hey, you want to come with me? Come train? I said, yeah, let's do it. I started going out there with him.
It was EMAC.
It was EMAC,
right.
yeah.
I remember EMAC.
Go out there.
Yeah, EMAC.
It was a wrestling heavy gym because Brad was an amazing wrestler, a great grappler. What we didn't have out there was a good striking program. There was no striking coach. It was in a garage. It was just Brad giving his own time, working off donations to just help these kids who want to fight. And so I'd go out there. My wrestling was getting a lot better. My grappling was getting a lot better. But our striking classes was just, all right, grab a partner, grab pads. I'm going to set the round timers, and we would call combos out to each other. No correcting it, none of that. So I'd ask them, hey, can I run one of the striking classes? Yeah, sure. Went great. You know, it was all basics, but, you know, there wasn't a striking program before
There's
that.
some structure finally.
So there was some structure, exactly. And then that kind of evolved, and we were all training. I ended up winning my first 4 fights as a pro, back to back to back to back. Then, you know, Brad, being the great coach he was, didn't know the management game very well. So it went from that 4 fights, beating some local decent guys, to stepping way up, fighting guys like Ronnie Marks, straight out of the UFC. He was like 16-3, something like that, some weight class up. Fighting this Mike Persons, guy from California, brown belt, weight class up, very high level. Guys who maybe shouldn't have been fighting at the time, should have taken it a little bit slower. At the same time doing that, we had opened up our gym. We brought EMAC from Eatonville out to Yelm and opened up a gym. And I found myself focusing more on the guys in the room, training them, and less time trying to prepare for these fights. So I dropped 2 in a row back to back, and I had to sit down and have a serious conversation with Brad, and just tell him, hey, you know, I appreciate everything you did. I got to go somewhere else to where I can be a student. And so I did that, and things were back on track. Then I found my manager. I linked up with my guy Nico, awesome manager, and he started getting me these opportunities, these big opportunities, PFL, LFA, you know, whatnot. I wasn't in the best headspace, the best situation in life, with everything going on, to be able to make the sacrifices that I needed to make for it. Or maybe I was just unwilling to sacrifice as much as I should have been, you know, having kids, family, that kind of stuff. You know, so it's been hit and a miss, but no matter what, I'm going out there and you know, fighting these elite level guys at short notice, and winning some, losing some, and just enjoying the ride.
Yeah. I think like a common theme that it sounds like, and I'm just finally starting to really relate to this and feel the effects of what this does to you, as not just as a fighter and a competitor, but, you know, in my life as well. And I think this is, you know, subconsciously, I think a big part of your like fighting system and the way you coach is like willingness, you know, from the beginning of your career. And I'm sure it has a big part to play in why you made it to the stages that you made it to, is your willingness to go out there and scrap. It plays such a huge part, I think. Definitely.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that I got back with you guys, because, you know, I remember you coming into the gym, and, you know, from day one, you were a scrapper. From day one, you jumped in there sparring with us. You could throw hands. You know, we got in the ground. whether you knew what you're doing or not comfortably, you could fight. And we love those kinds of guys. Coming from where we came from with Dennis in the days, it was just fighting. So you having that from day one, you immediately just blended with us perfectly.
Yeah, it was a good fit back then, man. And I'm glad you stuck with it because, I don't think I got to tell you guys this before, but Dylan and I connected again, a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. This is when we were both not really competing. This was kind of like on the tail end of like COVID. He was running his construction business. This was even when I was running my construction stuff. Mm-hmm. And oddly enough, we ended up in the same fucking neighborhood or same area, working on houses in the same cul-de-sac. We started to chop it up.
I'll bring your gloves tomorrow, dude.
Yeah, we're like, I don't know. And in that time, we were both in this this limbo of decision on if we wanted to really even pursue anything with combative sports at all. And then ironically, shortly after that, he gets an offer, takes the offer, and that fucking sparks the fire back in me to like, I'm gonna get back into the fold too. I miss it. I need it. This is one thing that I try to convey to people often is like, for a lot of us, this is in us, not on us. It's not like a jersey that if you're playing for a sports team, you can put it on and take it off. It's like once it's ingrained into the DNA and the fabric of the human being, then it's like you got to kind of lean into it, reinforce it, and kind of run with it. So
right.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's interesting. Like we just keep our passes keep. Coming and cross of each other in multiple ways. So it's nice to have him back in the room. I'm excited to have him back in the room, and I sincerely mean that, and genuinely grateful that he's allowing me to kind of help fine tune some small things that I've learned. Because like I said, when we parted ways and he went one way, I went the other way. I really spent the time with like local Boa. I got to work with Dwayne Ludwig. I got to work with other people from working with Dwayne Ludwig, like Boss Rutan, Trevor Whitman, Justin Gaethje. Like a lot of guys that were able to kick me some game. And even since then, I've worked with even more people. I got to work with Nick Himmers directly a couple of times. It's like the list goes on of like these high level people that I was able to pull from. So it's like I was able to kind of compile certain techniques and structure and things like that. So it's like now I can kind of pass that knowledge off to everyone that we're working in the room. And, I think everyone in the room's benefited from it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
Including this fella.
Right.
Yeah, whenever he's in the room and he's just teaching, I just absorb everything that he's teaching in the class because I know like how I fight, it helps me. So whenever he's there teaching, I just make it to where I'm listening and I'm present,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I think with what you just did, it kind of highlights that.
Bro, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and it's proof that it works. Whatever he's teaching, you can make it work.
Right.
Yeah, right there. Big proof.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So Mondo, you're just getting back from a trip out to the Guadalupe Islands. You got asked to come out there and compete on the combat taekwondo show.
Sir.
You went out there and did your thing.
Yes, sir.
Let's get into that a little bit. What was it like? The production of the show. Tell us how the fight went and everything. Let us in, dude.
Man, going out there, like first off, I got the call or text on my daughter's birthday. So we was at the Children's Museum in Olympia. I was just playing with the kids or whatever, and I got this text. And it's from the promoter, and he was like, well, would you want to fight December 5th for Combat Taekwondo 17? And I looked at the phone. I thought it was a joke at first because we've been trying to do it, and I got hurt or I got sick. So I said yes, and man, like when I said yes to that text, at first I was like, man, like I didn't think it was gonna happen. But then how I knew it was for real is when I got on the plane and went out there.
Right.
So the production and everything, I feel like it was UFC status.
Dude, it looks good from back home.
Yeah, like the production was good, the press conference was good, and then like as I was there, they dropped a bomb on us. Like they're coming out with a video game. Oh, never knew. So it's a combat taekwondo video game, and
so you're about to do the motion capture stuff.
Bro, man, I was ready for it, man. I was ready to do all that, but nah, man, like the production was fire. The rules meeting was good. It's just the whole experience. Being in Guadalupe was a good experience for me. It was kind of like a cultural shock at first because they don't have the stuff that we have. You know what I mean? Like, it was a big experience for me. So I was glad that I said yes. And I ended up meeting a good fighter, a Russian fighter. His name is Gennady Bitko. I'm probably butchering his name, but my bad. But he's one of the nicest dudes, and he actually helped me get ready for my fight. Yeah, so he helped me get ready in the hotel for my fight, and then he ended up cornering me. And then he's one of the best people. Like, we just met, but he's like one of the best people I can meet.
That's solid.
Good experience, man.
That's something I've always enjoyed about the martial arts and combat sports community, man. It's like you break bread with people pretty quick, you know what I mean? And that's pretty dope. Because you've been a lifelong martial artist.
Yes, sir.
And I know that this is like the pinnacle for your sport specifically with your background in Taekwondo, which is cool. And obviously, I've been working with you. We used to partner a lot back in the day when we were super active for Synergy in like 2017, 2018. And so I've got to watch you develop from just like a pure Taekwondo guy into like this, more of like a far more aggressive fighter, right? Yeah. So I mean, bro, first and foremost, it's dope as hell to see you be able to reach the pinnacle of your sport, which is Taekwondo, and seeing you compete on an international stage for the first time in the sport that you love the most. But it's like I've seen you develop for the course of the last 10 years, man. It's like and seeing you go from super Taekwondo heavy and centric to start actually adapting the Taekwondo style and applying all the stuff that we've been working even this more recent years together.
Yes, sir.
Stylistically, even from when we were just doing partner drills back in the day when we were both active, to seeing where you are now and implementing all the new stuff that I've been kind of bringing in and kind of plugging into the system and stuff like that, dude. It's been dope to see. I see where you're at. It's been amazing to see, but like, what got you into martial arts to start with? You know what I mean? Because it's like I said, lifelong martial artist. You just got your third Dan. Congratulations, by the way. Third Dan, black belt.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. So like, what got you started? Because I see you.
You teased us before, dude. We need to know the answer.
Man, so what got me into martial arts is like the typical Rocky, Dragon Ball Z, all those type of movies and shows we all grew up to. So that's what got me into it. But what actually got me started, and a lot of people don't know this, I actually started doing Shotokan karate. That was my first martial arts before Taekwondo. And I loved the group that I was with because I forgot his name and I feel bad, but the guy, the instructor that was there, he trained me and it got me sparked to really want to do martial arts. But the bad thing is he just ended up closing down, and then I just stopped doing martial arts forever, like for a good few years. And then eventually I started doing wrestling. A lot of people don't know that either. I did wrestling for 2 years, mostly my 8th grade, half of my 9th grade. And then after that, I just wanted to be a kid, kick it with my friends, But then after I graduated high school, I kept driving by Battleground,
Right, with JD Burns.
Yeah, with JD Burns, Rocky Burns. Shout out to you guys.
Good people.
Good people. Good, love them to death. But
he's actually about to be coming in to do a bare knuckle seminar, by the way.
Yeah, you guys don't want to miss
January
that.
10th, FQ MMA in Auburn, Washington. While we're on that topic, before I forget, he will be present January 10th at 12 to work a bare knuckle seminar. Because he was the first person in the state of Washington to do the bare knuckle MMA. Congrats to him, making local history. That's super dope. But he's also going to be going back into the cage to fight January 31st at the Excite fight at the Muckle Street Casino. And he's doing bare knuckle kickboxing this time. And we thought it'd be appropriate to kind of get him in and kind of show what he's learned to do with the bare knuckle stuff. So pull up.
You guys don't want to miss that. Right. I'm telling you, he's so exciting. But yeah, man. I passed by Battleground. I just kept passing by on the city bus, and I was just like, man, like something's telling me I should give him a try. And then at that time, they was doing a special for like $20 for 2 weeks or something like that. Go in there, and I meet Rocky Burns, and I was like, hey man, like how much is it to start fighting or training with you guys? And he's like, well, we have a special for 2 weeks for $20. You can, pay me $20 and you can train here for 2 weeks. And ever since then, I just loved it, man.
I remember that special.
Yeah, man.
I used to live like right across the street because it's like Battleground. Right across the street, there's a show.
Yep.
Behind the show, there's like apartments. But I lived in the duplexes down like right down the road, like a block and a half away from from their place. I almost went there.
Man, that would have been crazy,
Doing
man.
the math at $40 a month. I mean, that's
That's solid. That's
Stay
solid.
with this plan like indefinitely.
Bro,
Locked in.
it was one of the best deals. But so I started training there. At first, I did just the MMA portion, where I just did the grappling, the striking, and then one of the days, I think after MMA class, I watched a Taekwondo class. I watched how they did everything. I watched how like people from different backgrounds can love the same thing. So I'm just like, man, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna give Taekwondo a try. And then like the first day I was already hooked.
Yeah.
Hooked on Taekwondo.
Taekwondo is pretty dope. I told you before, that was my first martial art that I got into. And that was like way back in the day, but
Yeah. No, man, like, so when I did Taekwondo, I learned everything. I just fell in love with it. And then from there, I just realized I got to add Taekwondo into my MMA. So that's when a lot of people, when they see me and I'm fighting in MMA or kickboxing, you'll see like a little bit of a Taekwondo nuance to it, like my spinning kicks or anything else I learned from Taekwondo in my fights. I just love that sport so much. So I just have to add it to MMA. So.
yeah, and the people love it, bro.
Yeah.
It's very picturesque, you know. It's very much a crowd-pleasing style, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, I dig it, you know.
Yeah, hey, speaking of, dude, when are we getting that class at Synergy, bro?
Yeah.
Come on, dude, come on. you don't gotta answer right
Yeah,
now.
Mr. Third Dan. Let's go.
But also you do some coaching out at PDK.
Yes, PDK
Out
Martial
at PDK. What's that like? Also being in a coaching role now, having done it for so long, and now you got fighters coming up under you, which we'll get into in a second. Don't think you're off the hook on that.
Yeah, we're holding you accountable.
Oh man, put me on the spot. Man, to be real with you, I love the coaching spot, but at first I didn't want to be a coach.
I feel you.
You know what I'm
I've
saying?
heard that before.
I feel you.
Yeah, so I was in the same boat with Nick. So like when PDK, because we ended up leaving a recent gym. I'm not going to say the name of that gym, but it was me and 3 other guys, Black Belt, Master Matt, Master P, and then Chris. We all talked about setting up our own gym, and then, I'm missing one, and then TAC. So we was always talking, like, how are we going to do this? How are we going to set the classes up and whatnot? So then they was talking about coaching, and they was like, well, Armondo, you need to teach the KT class, Combat Taekwondo / Kickboxing, because you have the most experience.
Yeah,
and me,
great fit for
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So me being me, I was like, man, I don't know. Like, I just want to fight, be a student. So when we first opened, and I had my gi, put my black belt on and everything, oh, yep, I'm ready to start class, TAC was like, nope, you're going to teach the class. Like, he just threw me in the deep end.
Attaboy.
I was like, man, so.
Forced evolution, motherfucker.
So basically it's like, nope, you're going to teach. It's uncomfortable. You're going to go ahead and teach these new guys.
Yeah.
So me being me, I was like, man, like, what am I going to teach them? But then I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go with the flow. So we just ended up just doing like boxing with kickboxing drills. I pretty much just showed them how to mix in a back kick with like a 1, 2, 3, and they all loved it. So ever since then, I was just like, you know what? This coaching gig is not too bad, So I'm just going to keep messing with it, see where it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I dig it. And something that I always like to bring up is this. Like, the more that I coached, the more I started to love it, because the more I coached, the more I gained to realize that I didn't know as much as I thought I did, right? But there's also the other times where it's like, oh, I think I actually know more than I thought I did, right? There's times too, because every time that you get a new student, you have to learn a new learning style, right? So that means I have to adapt and provide nuance for each subjective learning style. So it could be one technique that I got to explain 20, 30, now you see how big the classes are at FQ, 40 plus deep. I'm like, dude, now I'm 40 plus deep on how many times I have to complete this, you know what I mean? So
Right.
every situation, every, technique, I've grown a deeper appreciation for coaching because I grow a deeper comprehension for each element of the game.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Man, I agree with you. One of the biggest thing I not noticed, but I've learned being a coach is each student learn differently. They learn, so like, for example, some like, I'll say like a spinning hook kick, some like majority of the class will get it, but there's always that 1 or 2 who needs extra tutoring. Like, okay, well, you can throw the spinning kick this way, or you can step to your right and throw it that way. Like I realized like everyone learns differently. Some learn it faster, some are a little slower when it comes to learning. So that was one of my biggest things I learned.
That's always a steady hurdle.
And don't throw a language barrier in there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's like you get like there's visual learners, there's verbal learners, there's ones that if you provide like a typed out excerpt, literature, give them some of that. Like that's how they learn. There's some people where you got the language barriers, like you're saying. And so it's like there's so many little layers that you have to take into consideration when coaching, and not just being a trainer. Because there's a difference between trainer and coaching. Trainer, you just kind of show some stuff. You're not really as invested as a coach. Like I think everyone in here is invested into the team. That's the thing that sets us apart. Is everybody really does embody that like synergy. Name. That we really do operate very well together, and it's showing results in a big way. So the ones that are sleeping on it, it's like you're in for a rude awakening when you wake up to it. Exactly. We're going to be a problem this next year.
We are for sure.
Yeah, man. So coaching's dope, man. I'm stoked to see you do it. I've seen you evolve exponentially over the course of the last 10 years, dude. It's been cool to see. It's dope to see, like I said, like I've known him for 13 going on 14 years. Same with Lavoy behind the camera, 13, 14 years, and then you another like 10 plus years, dude. So it's like to see the evolution of everything, not just of the sport and the direction of the sports that we compete in, but also the development of each individual that we've been around for so many years.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so cool to see. Yeah, especially the OGs. So.
All right. And the new crop as well, pretty exciting. Not to put you on the spot, but we do got to get into it a little bit, at least in the spirit of recapping the card. That was one of the first, really, it was the second fight of the night, and a super exciting fight. Going into it, I don't think anybody knew for sure the way it was going to go, because our guy, AJ Cherry, was facing your guy, Micah Sawyer. And the Taekwondo style is it's a tricky style to deal with. Your best bet is just to come forward and take them out of their element. Don't give them the space to operate how they want to operate. And unfortunately, kudos to Micah.
He fought well.
He fought well.
You definitely should give yourself more credit for what you did. Dude.
Yeah. And AJ surprised us all, man. It's not, God, he came out and was as aggressive as we could have hoped for.
Let me comment on that. So,
okay, yes.
All right, so the camp, I knew what the game plan was going to be, but then to actually see it, I know I'm on the spot now. But no, so I was training Mike and I was telling him, from the get, they're going to close the distance, because you're a Taekwondo guy. So they're going to try to cut your kicks off. So we got to work on, creating space, and at least get in the middle of the cage and throw your Taekwondo kicks with your hands, right? So going to the fight, the first round, when AJ came, the way he came at my dude, my brain said, uh-oh. And I see how my dude was reacting. I'm like, this is not good, bro. This is not. And he just kept the pressure going. I'm like, bro, who is this person? Because the week before, I was like, you was not fighting like this. Who are you?
He doesn't spar like that. He don't train like that. He's one of the most soft-spoken people in the room.
The last thing I told him before he stepped in the cage, I got in his ear. I'm like, bad intentions. You need to be fucking violent in his face from the very beginning.
And he was, bro. Because I'm just like, me as a coach, just watching it, because I'm trying to coach, but at the same time, I'm trying to comprehend what I'm seeing. It
was a lot. It was even on my side. It was a lot for me, because I'm sitting here like, who the fuck is that?
Exactly.
Kid?
I'm just
you just woke up a monster.
Yeah, dude.
But I was like, this is not the same person I saw. But he did what he was supposed to do. He cut Micah off. Micah had a really hard time trying to get his kicks and hands off, and I'm just like, damn.
Yeah.
They got us on this one.
That was one of those ones, man. I was constantly harping on him, like, where's your keys to success? Where's your keys to success? Every day. I'd ask him before practice, so I was like, where's your win, bro? I need to know. I need you to commit to it. I need you to commit to memory. I need you to commit to what I'm telling you, and I need you to execute. All right? Because I was like, if you allow him space to breathe, you're in trouble. You're in trouble.
Yep.
Right? I was like, you need to smother him. It needs to be relentless pressure. I don't care if you get tired, you dig deep and you keep going. Right? You got to get on that gas and stay on the gas. And he did exactly that. Like, that's honestly, like, because we had a lot of really good debuts on this show.
Super.
Yeah.
But that was one where I was probably, it might honestly be the most proud of AJ for that fight.
Dude, I certainly know.
Like not to
take away from
anybody-
anyone
Yeah,
else.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
but
I was
man.
probably most proud of that performance because that took me by surprise.
Right.
And not just me, but the entire room of everyone that's been watching him train
Right.
over the last like few months.
Right.
Because like he came up to us, what, like 7-8 months ago, asking
Yes.
like, well, hey coach, when can I fight? And he's all, you know, he talks super soft and I'm
Yeah,
like, dude.
super.
And I'm like, bro, don't ask me to fight. Show me you want to fight. You know what I mean?
Yep,
And like I was like, dude,
exactly.
we'll let you know when it's time. And he kept, showing up, being consistent. I was like, I need to make sure you can take your licks and dish them out. You know what I'm saying?
And he had to fight for that. It was not.
He did.
It was not
He
easy,
did.
even though he was walking forward the whole time. He
Hey,
took
it was
big shots.
absolutely.
That he could've
That
quit
clean
and-
left
kick, that
Yeah.
there's
And that's-
no guard,
yeah.
and
And
got
that's
in the way of
Micah,
that at
bro.
all.
And that's Micah's bread and butter, because like he's caught me with that a few times in sparring.
Yeah.
And he'll go low, so I put my hands down and go high. He's super good with that, but obviously in that fight he couldn't even get that off at all.
Yeah,
So-
I think a little more lateral movement and getting
Yeah.
to the center of the cage, he probably would have been able to control it a little bit more, and it would have been more of a thing, more on his side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But no, it was kudos to AJ. Like I said, and AJ did pretty good. You want to hear something funny about AJ though? So after that fight happened, Matthew, the black belt at PDK, knows AJ's dad. They all grew up together.
Small world.
Yeah. So of course there's a little shit talking there. I'm just, damn.
No, little shit. Hey, you was talking mad shit. You was talking mad
You know
shit.
what to talk.
I'm not even gonna go. Why I did run my mouth.
You was talking mad shit. That was so fun, though.
Dude,
It was. I
fun.
mean, obviously,
It made it just
It was
little
fun.
sweeter.
it's friendly banter. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It is friendly banter. Like we never want no ill will towards each other
Oh,
or anything
no.
like that. But it was fun to see one of your guys that you've been working with from PDK actually come over and work against one of the guys that we've been building up in house. So it's cool to kind of see stylistic differences, and also watching them make the debut together was pretty cool. Nothing that special, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And,
it was super special.
Sam, I keep telling these guys that are making their debut, like the first like 2, 3, 4, sometimes even 5 fights, you're really just learning yourself in the moment on how to navigate the emotions, the adrenaline, like the setting and all the other stuff. I was like, don't worry about the outcome or result. Worry about progress and learning yourself. You know, because it's a
Great
journey.
advice.
Yeah, it's a journey of self-discovery. You know what I mean? It's like as long as you're walking that path, this is just one stop on the path. It's not the end all be all ever.
Yeah.
So
And if you can really buy into that too, that really like allows you to grow a lot more quickly, you know?
absolutely.
Because if not, then
kind of alleviates some pressure.
yeah, it alleviates
Yeah.
a ton of pressure, and you can just allow yourself to find these little wins, and then the small areas of improvement are that they're not these big
Yeah.
overwhelming
Oh, yeah.
it's nothing's the end of the world.
That's true. Yeah.
So going on to that next fight, Vu versus
Oh, yeah,
versus
yeah,
JR.
yeah.
Sean Vu versus JR Bun, bro. That
Right.
was a wild one. I was curious on how that was gonna go because for the people that aren't aware, JR Bun, he's been working with us for years since he was like 13, 14, something like that, young as fuck. And he's got a wrestling background. He's more of a MMA guy than a kickboxer, but he suffered a major injury and was out for a little over a year. He just made his MMA his return to MMA on the last Fight Quest card. So Fight Quest 12, he made his MMA return against a really tough opponent, and then that went pretty good, but he lost that one in the end. But this was one of those things for him to kind of test himself in kickboxing and reassure and bring a little more confidence back into his ability to get it done, because the injury he suffered from was a severe break. He the Anderson Silva shin snaps first round of one of his fights down in Oregon. It was a second MMA fight, and then he was out So he's just getting his feet wet again and coming back to doing everything. So proud of him for stepping back in there against a super game opponent. And Sean Vu is very fun to watch.
Yeah.
He is a crowd pleaser for sure. I'm happy to bring him back anytime. But that fight was a pure banger too. Like they were,
Oh man,
they were both throwing.
yeah. You know how
Sean-
JR gets down too, man. He's just throwing bombs.
I would throw JR in there with the gorilla. He would throw that and
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah, he's
Super
one of,
scrappy.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that
Super
always
athletic,
surprises
too.
the fuck out of me. Because like,
Yeah.
you see how he trains, it's almost like lackadaisical and not super
Flicking his dreads out of the way.
Yeah, you know, just like his hair on his face and things like that. But you know, like when it's time to turn it on, dude, it's like a different animal comes out of him, man. It's like he really rises to the occasion, regardless of what setting you put him in. So kudos to you, JR. That was dope. What is this? The next one, Ferris versus Whitlock. Aaron Whitlock, aka Crazy Legs, developed over there in the crap yard, and then came. I did it.
Shots fired.
Shots fired. Street Queef's crap yard. Whitlock, he's one of those guys that has a lot more potential than people are aware of. He does have a little bit of a wrestling background, and you got to see a little bit of that in this. This is his official sanctioned MMA debut fight against Jonathan Ferris from Academy of Brian Johnson's. It was a really good matchup. Both were faring quite well. And then, there was that moment where they were in that scramble and there's a separation as they separate. Jonathan Ferris throws that big right hand and it just got Whitlock right on the money, man. Right on the money. And, kudos to Jonathan Ferris out of Brian Johnson's, man. That was a big win for him. I know he's been trying to get more fights, trying to get more active, so I was happy to get him in the mix and bring him into the fold. And, congrats to you on the win. It sucks to see that you beat my guy there, but it is what it is, man. Sometimes you're the hammer,
fight
sometimes
game.
you're the nail.
That's the fight game. Yep.
Yeah. I know. Cam did a really good job reffing those fights. I think that was a great call on his part to stop it right there because especially when you see the ref cam.
Yeah.
Right, it's like you see the lights are out. It was like one of those flash knockouts. It hits the mat, springs back up, and he's good to go, or thinks he's good to go. But it's like it's an amateur fight. You're not getting paid for this. It's like let's not take more head trauma than we need to.
Another day.
Yeah, man. Shit, dude. This one was crazy. The next fight number 6, dude. Zatov Johnson versus Shakur Lucas, man.
Yeah, boxing match.
boxing
Yeah,
fight.
that was bad.
I thought that fight was really competitive and could have gone either way.
Yeah.
I think Shakur did a really good job at finding the body and wearing him out a little bit and frustrating him with those body shots. And I could tell he didn't like those body shots. And in that second round, dude, I didn't know which way it was going to go in the third. I really didn't.
Yeah, because Tav was fighting super well as well.
He was doing incredibly
just
well.
coming forward, controlling the space,
Yeah.
making Shakur respect every one of his strikes.
Yeah, he was landing really good shots. Really good shots.
That was a fight.
Yeah, and then to see him not get off the stool and just storm out of the cage, and at the end of that, when he was supposed to come into round 3, it was kind of disappointing. But it is what it is. I don't know the full scenario on that. I don't know if it was him being, frustrated with the corner, which could be the case or not. But I would welcome him back if he wanted to come back for sure.
Absolutely.
Bro, fight number 7.
Yup.
Styles Moody versus Kassem Shohid. Bro,
Highlight reel.
wow.
Da-na-na, da-na-na.
Yeah.
That was crazy. I was in the commentary, bro, when that happened. It took me so much by surprise. I was just quiet for a second after. I was like, oh, I'm supposed to be yelling right now or something.
Yeah, just,
None of that.
just in a state of whoa.
Yeah.
What did I just see?
Super clean.
Yeah, that was crazy, dude. That was a crazy fight. Styles is super game. He just fought Mathis in Mathis' debut.
Yeah.
Styles likes to be super active, and props to him. And I like to give him credit for that. This one was a bit unexpected. I didn't expect this kind of outcome.
Right.
That was bad.
But that was kind of wild. Kassem landed that crazy, scissor kick.
Right.
Taekwondo.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry, I had to throw it out there.
But definitely there.
Yeah.
And, you know, but that goes to show, like,
Yep.
right back to the AJ Cherry fight. If you know, Micah was able to steer it around, and
Bro,
those kind of kicks are problems, bro.
Right.
There's elements of Taekwondo that pose a legitimate threat if you know when and how to use them appropriately.
Right.
You know, it's like, and I don't like to see guys get you know, cracked like that on our shows, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah,
It's the
once
name-
again,
it's
it's fight game.
It's the game we play. We've all been on the receiving end of it, whether it's in practice or on the show, but we've all been on the receiving end of it at some point.
Yep.
But that was a crazy knockout.
Shout out Coach Abdul, by the way. His guys always show up ready to
Oh,
go.
big facts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, that's for sure. Those guys are game, and they're fun to watch either way. What do we got next, dude? Let's go through these.
Right after that, we got
Oh yeah, Nick Cantrell.
that's right. Well, hey, take it away, Dylan.
Oh yeah, made his MMA debut on short notice against a dude from it was a Sam Lee Rimmett from
Down in Portland, right?
Oregon.
Yeah.
He's from Team SIR. Great group of guys, man. Shout out to Sam Lee and Gladwin for coming up and being on the show, man. We really appreciate you guys being present for that.
Yep.
You know, I'm happy to help you guys continue further your successes, whether you're in the fold here in the gym with us or out there. I'll keep helping you guys. So keep rocking, man. But that fight, man, I wasn't sure how that was gonna go. I really didn't know how that was gonna go. I was, you know, there was a piece of me that was a little bit concerned for Nick a little bit.
Absolutely.
Because I wasn't sure how well he would do in execution. You know what I mean? It was like, we're in the back. He's like, obviously we see him in practice. He's been working with us and doing his
Quick
thing.
caveat too, he hasn't been training like that long.
No, not at all.
Super new.
Yeah. So super.
And that was his first fight ever. Never wasn't in a street fight. Nothing.
Yeah.
He grew up wrestling. So I knew if we can get it to the ground, he would have an advantage there. Because he's
Right.
a great wrestler. Even
Yeah.
when me and him are doing takedown drills back and forth, it's like I'm trying to stop his takedown. I'm like, man, he's scrappy.
Yeah. Play to the strengths for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
And he wanted to strike a lot coming into this fight, and so we worked on it. But there's only so much you can do in such a short period of time, especially with someone who didn't grow up fighting.
Right. Yeah.
There's a difference, and leading up to the fight, maybe a week or 2 weeks out, for the first time, I pulled some pads out, some focus mitts, and was like, hey, let's open up with some power because we do so many drills.
Yeah.
And
I was seeing you guys running in the cage.
and with him and the guys he was choosing to drill with, they were getting good drills in, but there wasn't a lot of high power, high intensity,
Right.
how you and I get going and we're
Right.
ripping, how you go with everybody, ripping intensity. He didn't have a ton of that. So when I whipped the pads out, I'm like, he's hitting the pads, holding back a bit. I'm like, you know what? Just give me some power. Just open up. Just let loose, man. Punch through my hand. And as soon as he did that, turned over his fist, I was like, yeah, you got it. You got it.
Yeah.
He was like, that felt great. So that gave me a lot of confidence. And, when we got to the venue that day, we got to the fights, Salmi was rocking a sweatshirt and that Leatherman's on top. And looked big, and he was throwing punches, big overhands, and I'm not gonna lie, I got a little nervous. I'm like, all right, Nick, we need to close that distance. We need to get in. Once we got a hold of him, I wasn't worried at all. Getting in, I didn't want to get caught.
Yeah.
We don't know how
That's-
he's gonna
that's-
react to it.
That's where my
Right.
concern was, because I was watching Rimmett warm up and stuff like that, and I was like, I could tell those dudes, both Gladwin Paul and
yeah.
Stanley Rimmett, I can tell they're gamers, bro.
Yes.
That's without a doubt. So those guys definitely show some promise. Without a doubt, I'm looking forward to getting them back on.
Yeah.
They said the next time they want to do kickboxing, which fucking absolutely. Happy to oblige, because I think that's where they will probably find a little bit more success in the initial start of their careers.
Yeah.
But for them to say fuck it, just jump in there and do their thing, dude, not knowing what the hell to really expect or anticipate and still be game, dude. Like I got a lot of respect for them for that.
For
but
sure.
I was legitimately concerned with if Rimmett touched Nick. I was concerned about that because I was watching him warm up and I was like, dude can crack.
Yeah.
Dude could crack,
Absolutely.
and if those land without a bigger glove, dude. Like, dude, it does not take much in those little gloves.
Right.
It does not take much.
But Nasty Nick went out there, man, and he used that range and threw those big shots from the outside. And once he grabbed a hold of him, it was
he did his thing,
dude.
He did his thing, man. Yeah. The next fight, man, on that card was also another one that was a crowd pleaser. Lexi Brown versus Summer Johnson, and that was a good one. Lexi's obviously trained with us for roughly about 7 months now, and this is her second fight. She had a ton of growth. We didn't really see as much in that fight because it was a little bit chaotic. I was like,
a little bit
chaotic. She's like, Lexi, I love you. But yeah, I told her, I was like, hey, I was like a lot of like chaotic flailing in that fight. I don't know where all that technique went, but Summer was game. I wasn't sure what to anticipate with seeing Summer, because I haven't really seen much, and this I think was her debut, if I'm not mistaken. I think maybe she had a couple
like smokers
or exhibitions, and then it was like a virtually an unknown. So I really didn't know how this was going to go, but I felt like with what I've seen from the people over at T-Town, they are game, and I respect them for that. And I like working with T-Town, so it was definitely a privilege to have them back on. And I've told this to Lexi already, so there's no surprise when I say this. I wasn't sure how that fight was going to get scored. Based on what I saw, both were really active, start to finish.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I saw a little bit more landing flush from the other side. Lexi won by decision, but I could have seen it go the other way without a doubt.
Yeah, definitely.
That was a really, really close fight.
Super.
I would love to see it ran back where both of them don't really have like the nerves and anxiety.
That's what. Yeah.
Right, because
super.
I think that's a really good matchup. I think that's a matchup that could really bring the best out of both of them.
Yeah.
With a little more of a settled approach to it.
Yeah,
I
agree.
really do think that would be one that I would love to see ran back, and I think that a little more composure and a little more dial back the anxiety and adrenaline a little bit, because they'll have that familiarity in the second time. I would like to see that ran back, and I haven't presented it to Summer or Lexi yet, but I definitely would like to reach out and see if they'd be interested in doing that again, because I do think that that's one of those fights that should get ran back, considering how close it was in general.
Yeah, considering that I'm sure the entire room was super divided on it.
I didn't really know how that was going to go.
Yeah.
I gave a slight edge to Summer, and that's me being Lexi's coach, and I'm a pretty honest coach, and I do think that it was a slight edge on Summer's side, as far as like more shots landed flush and like, you know what I mean? But I do think that'd be a good fight to run back.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I agree.
Next, dude. Oh, Skylar Molyneux versus Lavon.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was super clean.
Lavon's one of those guys that he's really disciplined on how he reps, and I really like that about him. Lavon's a tough guy. He's one of those guys that is really disciplined on his reps in class. Every time you see him, he's one of the guys that's constantly shadow boxing and like hyper fixating on locking in his reps. He gave himself a hard time for this fight.
Yeah.
Well, my bro, to be honest, like, you did well. You did really well.
That might have been, as far as technique goes, that might have been the cleanest fight of the night. Cleanest performance.
I agree. Flawless start to finish.
Yeah. It's like, I'm gonna give credit to Skylar Molyneux for stepping up, because like Lavon's opponent dropped out last minute, and I was kind of scrambling to find somebody, and I got in these like group chats for like the find me a fight type thing. I just posted that I was looking for someone, I guess at 0-1, 185 for kickboxing, and Skylar reached out and was like, hey, I'll do it. I was like, bet, dude, cool, man. So I put him in. I hit him up ever since then. I was like, bro, like, I honestly, like, if you're within the area, I would love to see you come in here and train with us. Like, we don't have bad blood with people. We just like to compete.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, hopefully he takes that offer, because I think he would really benefit from being in the room with us. Because he definitely showed some heart and he showed some grit. And, Lavon's just really, really disciplined on his reps.
What a hell of a surprise an 0-1 guy, and it's Levon.
Yeah, that sucks.
All right, this guy's 0-1, and you got Levon coming at you.
Yeah. His first fight was a little over a year ago. It was right when I was about to have our son Yoshi, and I wasn't even able to be there to corner him. I didn't know he had a fight. It was like he got scheduled for a fight, and this is before I was in the officially in the head coach position. This is when the other guy was kind of dropping the ball, not doing his shit, and doing whatever the fuck he wanted to do outside of the gym. But I was kind of in that. I was in the head striking coach position, but I wasn't the head MMA coach, but in fight team position, right? So I was helping Levant, and I didn't know he had a fight scheduled. And then I was like, bro, like I can't be there. I'm about to have my kid, bro. Like I can't. Right. It was the same thing I was telling you. I was like, bro, like I can't be there because it's down to the wire as far as like having this kid. But what I did do is I plugged in with one of the guys that I know for a fact is one of the most knowledgeable kickboxers in the area, and that's Scott Schaefer. Mm-hmm. And Scott Schaefer, he's a good dude. He's he's a K1 vet. Like fought in Japan, doing K1 over there. He knows his shit. He's really good with like how he structures his fundamentals and how he coaches people. And I've seen drastic improvements in Levant since, because now Levant's working with him. He's working with me, so he's fucking getting way better.
Yeah.
And for people that don't know, Scott was one of the main students of like Murray Smith. So like he knows his shit. Like, yeah. So it's like as far as he knows his shit as far as like lineage goes and stuff like that. So Levon is improving quite a bit because of the two sources he's pulling from is Scott Schaefer. I mean, it's like I have my own flavor and flair to things, but Scott's like really good at like this. Like he's super disciplined on how he reps and instructs as well. Because I've got to work with him a few times too, and that's one guy that I legitimately respect. So that was a great fight, man.
Yorman
Yorman
and Gladwin.
Yeah, bro. Yorman's balls and
the long-awaited MMA debut.
Yeah.
Yorman Cabellos.
He's got so much potential in the sport of MMA. He's a dog when it hits the ground, dude. Straight dog. Like guys that he shouldn't be overpowering.
He's overpowering.
Guys that are 2-3 weight classes ahead of him, and he's just.
Yeah, I made the mistake one day at practice, bro. I was like trying to like kind of flow roll with him. He jumps on a sub me. I think he took my leg. I was like, oh fuck.
YouTube.
No.
Yeah.
YouTube story.
He's aggressive. He's aggressive as fuck. He's got that dog. He's super game, man.
Yeah.
So like having him in the striking class with us and really watching him really round out his game has been dope to see.
Right.
There's like that little bit of a language barrier, but he does his due diligence to really learn. That's the beauty of having JoJo in the mix, because JoJo is able to convey what I'm conveying to him, and there's no loss in translation here, right? So you're seeing drastic improvements with him. Gladwin's, like I said, between the guys down in Portland, those guys are game. Yeah, they're clearly game. That's something that I love to see.
The willingness, like we were talking about earlier.
Right, exactly. It's like it reminds me of like the same kind of that same kind of fire and passion that we Synergy was founded on and Victory was founded on. You know what I mean? Because like Victory started in a garage. Victory started in the fucking backyard of fucking Dennis Hallman's in the fucking workshop. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's what I try to tell these guys. Like, just because you don't have this like massive facility or anything like that, dude, doesn't mean you can't do what you're trying to do.
Right.
Like, I know you guys, what you got clearly, game. You got heart, you got grit, and your game is fuck. That you can't teach. You got that shit or you don't got that shit.
Right.
Like, we can kind of nudge someone and build someone up and kind of chisel them a little bit and get them kind of lifted up, but there's limits to what we can do as coaches and as teams and stuff like that. But when you naturally got that, bro, the sky's the fucking limit, dude. And then that's something I can say about like the guys down there, Rimmet and Paul. Both those guys are clearly game, and I'm looking forward to getting him back, dude. And he had a tough ass opponent with Yorma. Yeah. Yorma's tough as fuck.
He's so tough.
But that was also one of those ones where I was like, if Gladwin catches him on the feet, dude, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And that's where I was like, I don't know because this is really like striker versus grappler scenario, that classic
Right.
striker versus grappler scenario.
And once again, to his debut, you never know how he's going to react if he does
Right.
get cracked. Is he
Right.
going to be able to stay
that's true.
composed?
Exactly.
He was so comfortable. He was on the ground on top of him, and I remember JoJo was talking to him, and he laid there, and he kept looking up. JoJo said something, he go,
Oh yeah.
do it perfectly, look up, wait for the next instruction. JoJo would give it to him, wait for the next instruction. I'm like, man, I wish I was that comfortable.
Right?
I could stop and look at my coach and say, what? Okay.
I can do that.
And then just do it.
That's what's crazy. That's what I'm saying. Like that guy has so much potential. It's insane because that right there, like that's something that even seasoned vets don't got.
Yeah.
You know, you can be 50 fights in and not have that level of composure and clarity for listening to your coach. You know what I mean? That requires certain elements of someone that you may not possess. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
And so that was dope to see.
Then co-main.
Right into the co-main, dude. Evan Conte Wood, Eric Wiseman's protege, versus Aslan Batsayev.
Yeah.
You know, Coach Phil's morning.
Evan
morning class.
looked good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's I was excited for this matchup because Evan Conte Wood, he's the current kickboxing champ over at Axe FC. Isn't it
Axe Fighting, I thought.
Yeah, Axe Fighting. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Eric Wiseman's show. It's up north, but
Good show.
He puts on a good show, and he's been doing it for years. So he doesn't put on no shitty production or lopsided mismatch. So like if he's the champ over there, he's probably earned it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I was excited to see him. I think this was his MMA debut, if I'm not mistaken. And Batsayev, like he fought Joe Kayumba on the Karma show for the debut.
Right.
And that was a tough night for him, but I knew he was a dog because I saw him fight previously. So he was 1-1. And this was Evan's debut. And then Evan fought well, and he ended up getting a submission, secured the win via submission. Was it triangle?
Triangle,
The
yeah.
triangle show, right?
Second round, I believe.
Yeah, round 2 triangle.
I think he was kind of winning in the stand-up exchanges and keeping his distance well, and then finally Aslan got the takedown and super composed in his guard, and then shoop,
yeah, he
threw
did
the
really
triangle
well.
up.
So that's being in like unfamiliar territory with MMA and all these new levels of threats that are being thrown at you, and kind of it looked like he was kind of feeling out the process, which is good because it shows like a level of IQ, right? You're being more cognitive in there. You're being
intentional. With,
right. You're not just like flailing and hoping for the best. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're calculating, you're strategizing, you're being tactful, you're moving forward, you're controlling the range and the distance and all this other stuff.
Right.
He did everything he should be doing. So like that's another guy that I think is really promising going forward. Like I would love to see him really come into his own for MMA because I think that he shows a lot of potential, like I said, and the more familiarity he gains in the sport of MMA, I think the more you're going to see. Yeah. You know, you're going to see him really come out of his shell, and I think you're going to see him really bloom into something that's going to be a bit of a fucking problem. So, you know what I mean? Dude's in shape. He seemed locked in, even in the rules meeting and stuff like that. Like, dude, like you don't. There's certain guys where like you can tell the aura on them is just locked.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not all over the place. It's not like, unsure of himself, unsure of the surroundings, unsure of the setting, unsure of the rule set. You know what I mean? Like, he seemed locked in from the moment he walked in the building.
Yeah. Right.
Right? He had a different aura on him, and I fuck with that. So to get a win over for Batsayev like that, like that's a good win. That's a really good win for his debut.
Right.
I know that Aslan's game, he's going to come forward and try to exchange and do his thing. So that was a really big win for him. So kudos to Evan Conte Wood out of Wiseman's gym, Team Wise, man. That was dope. Main event, that one I did not expect it to be what it was.
Neither did I. I think they both. It seemed like they both respected the threats so much that it just. They were both a little hesitant than they would normally be to pull the trigger.
Yeah, and just for clarity, if you aren't aware of who we're referring to Wayne Batman Smooth Williams and Joe Cyborg Kayumba, right? Joe works with us over at Synergy, and Wayne Williams fights out of Zero Sum up out in Bellingham. Wayne is super active, super hungry, super ambitious, and doing his thing. Joe. Doing his thing, like really coming up and really starting to come into his own for the sports of MMA and kickboxing. Wayne Williams is the regional and national champ for WKA for kickboxing, Muay Thai, and Joe was a 5-time,
6-time Congolese, and 2-time U.S. national champion as
so
well.
he's got eight national championships from Taekwondo. So I really thought there was going to be more striking. I really did. But this is like what you said. This is one of those ones where they both respected the striking element so much that it turned into more grappling. There was more grappling, more groundwork. There were some opportunities presented to both where they really could have capitalized and secured a dominant finish. But, they're both young in the game of MMA. They're not super experienced with it yet. And I think both of them will grow from this, for sure. And that was a great fight. I did not expect it to go the way it did. But, kudos to Wayne. Wayne secured that win. He definitely had more control time. And Joe's strong as fuck. We've all grappled with Joe. Joe's strong as fuck. So to have
it's annoying.
It
pisses me off.
So to have the ability to control Joe in those grappling exchanges is pretty good. And I will give credit to the Thai clinch. That's something that I do. We work it often. I think it's a really dominant position when you know how to use it appropriately. So he used it to his advantage, and that was good for him. So
top to bottom, great fights. Kudos to you, by the way, for putting those together. All of them were super exciting, bro.
Yeah, that was my first time doing top to bottom matchmaking for FightQuest. And I'll be doing it going forward. That was kind of one of the agreements to host and do the Karma shows. I had one so far, and this was they saw what I was able to do with that show. They liked it. We negotiated a deal where we'll kind of co-promote, and I'll help lock in the fight cards for FightQuest, and they'll help kind of co-promote the Karma shows with what they got as far as a network and ability to advertise and stuff like that. So that'll be helpful. KCFC 1 was a good show. FightQuest 13 was a good show. I'm excited for this next one. KCFC 2, bro. I think that's going to be a banger, dude. I haven't released the date yet. This is the first time I'm going to tell you guys. February 28th, we're looking at KCFC 2.
Come on.
We're looking on doing some things that no one else is doing currently. As usual, I like to push the envelope a little bit and kind of set precedents and elevate the standards of what we can do as far as the community goes. So what I'm trying to do for February 28th, I know there's multiple shows going on, and this isn't like me trying to shoot at other shows or anything like that. It's just there's certain elements that only align with that date, i.e. Luke the Chef Lacey. Okay, Luke the Chef Lacey is someone that I've got to work with a couple times down at American Top Team. He's a good dude. He's got a very interesting stylistic approach. He provides a lot of creative elements to the striking game. And we're going to bring him in for one, he's going to be there early morning to do a morning seminar same day. So February 28th, even if you're fighting on another show and you want to be present for the seminar, you can be present for the seminar. He's going to do the seminar in the morning. Then he's going to hop on this podcast with us. Probably going to be the first episode shot in our new location, because this is probably the last time we'll be here at the Mojo Dojo Casa House. Going forward, we got the war room, right? So we got that underway as well. I'm clearing out an area and actually creating a legitimate set for this podcast to continue, and he'll be involved in probably the first show on there, which would be cool. So he'll be there for the morning seminar. He'll be involved with this podcast. First show in the war room. Then after that, he'll be a special guest at the event, and I think that's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, bring your babies and your Sharpie.
Yeah. Let them sign your children. So yeah, it's going to be a good time, man. I'm excited. I got some good interest so far. Even though there's a lot of shows going on, I've had some really good interest levels and participation. I'll probably bring back Gladwin and Rimmett for kickboxing matchups. This is going to be another one of those shows where it's going to be a mixed bag of different rule sets, and we're going to put on the best, most competitive and fair matchups we can. I think between KCFC 1 and FightQuest 13, it's pretty clear that even though we're showcasing the talent we're building in-house, I'm not offsetting the matchup. I'm not
Right.
leaning it towards our guys. I'm trying to make it as competitive as possible
Right.
for both sides of it.
And I think that shows as well. If you see the fights, you can tell.
Yeah, you know, it's like I don't want a one-sided matchup. I want it to be as competitive as it could possibly be, because I think that brings evolution. You know,
Right.
it's like you're bringing forth the necessity for someone to really step up. You know, like you have to find that next gear. You gotta dig deep, and that's what I want. I don't like being one-sided. A lot of these shows recently that I've been to outside of in-house shows, they seem really one-sided. When 90% of your show ends in the first round, kind of tells me you're not really there for the right reasons. You're just there to make a quick buck, which is whatever, man. That's your business model, whatever. But I'm legitimately about building community. You know, really cultivating the culture that'll actually build our community up here in the Northwest and get us out further.
Right.
You know, it's like everyone's so stuck on looking at everyone next to them as competition rather than looking at them as an asset that we could maybe benefit from each other with a little bit of mutual respect. You know what I mean? Like we can go a whole lot further working together in cohesion than constantly bringing forth friction.
Right.
You know, and a lot of these guys, it's like, well, fuck that guy, fuck this guy, fuck that guy, fuck this guy. And it's like, bro, like, I'm not thinking that way. I really don't care. Like, if you guys want to work with us, then cool, work with us. But if you don't want to work with us, that's fine too.
Well, guys, that was episode 2 of the Fight Cult podcast. Stay tuned. We got a bunch of stuff in store. Like we said, KCFC 2 right around the corner. That JD Burns seminar, Luke Lacey seminar. A lot of big things. So keep rocking with us. We appreciate the love and support. We'll see you guys soon.